Today I'm going to be talking about a game called Yakuza Kiwami. It's a game I've been playing basically non-stop for like three or so weeks, maybe a little more. So I've been playing because I wanted, you guys to see it and show you. It's a PS2 game that came out like a while ago. I want to say 2005 probably. And it's about you being Kiryu Kazuma, because you're in the Kazuma family. In case you guys didn't know, being a Yakuza is basically being like an advanced mobster, like a high-class mobster, if that makes any sense. So you, Kiryu, which is this guy right here in the red shirt, big strong guy, and Nishiki, which is the guy the girl was just holding, as well as Yumi, which is both their love interests. You guys are in an orphanage because your parents died, and you were brought up in the Kazuma family into the Yakuza. The girl's not a part of it, but she is an integral part. So what they just showed there with Kiryu having the gun and a dead guy being on the ground, basically what happened to Kiryu is they ran into a situation where Kiryu was about to be promoted in the ranks. Then he stumbles upon Nishiki and Yumi, and the head of the household was killed by Nishiki. So then he told Nishiki, don't worry about it, I'll just take the blow for you. So he goes away for 10 years for Nishiki. I don't know if I would have done that, but he goes away for 10 years, comes back, and then has to reassimilate to new life, and also has to deal with people having a hit out on him, because as you probably know, if you kill a major person in Yakuza, you can't just walk away. And of course, he's also troubled in one second. He's also troubled in jail as well. People trying to come after him. Yeah, cancel loading. I meant to click new. So you could play it on easy, normal, hard, legend. I recommend normal for first time players just because the game is difficult. The game is split into 13 chapters. It's very episodic. It's a very beautiful, looking game. Keep in mind this is a remake of the original Yakuza Kiwami, so things look obviously way better than they probably did in PS2, even though it was still cutting edge back then. Also in this game, they'll have sub-stories, which are side quests that are done around the city that you could complete. You could complete it for money, you could complete it for story segments to piece together the overall story. You also complete it for items, because you can use weapons in this game. You could get equipment to use on yourself. Everything is told kind of like a subbed anime, so everyone speaks in Japanese, so you have to read subtitles. I know some people aren't so fond of that, but hey, whatever. That's how they made it. I like it that way. So they're basically just gonna kind of show you a little bit what's happening here. Also when Kiryu is fighting, because you fight a lot in this game, you fight pretty much all the time. When he's fighting, he has 4 modes to fight in. He can fight in Dragon, which is kind of like this karate style kind of fight style, where it has a red aura around it. He could fight in Rush, which is this purple aura, and he fights really fast and bobs and weaves a lot. It is weaker, so that is the downside. He has Beast, which he's really slow, but his defense is really high, and he could grab people, toss people. He can grab items around him and hit people with it. And then the other one, which is one of my personal favorites, was Brawler. Brawler is kind of like a mix between to me it's like a mix between Dragon and Rush, where it's like not too fast but not too slow, but still strong. So it's one of those things to where depending on what fight you're in or what boss battle you're in, it will cause for a different, you know. Oh yeah, and they usually do that. It's like an 80s movie, man. I swear it's awesome. They'll usually call for different kind of fights. Maybe you may have to use beast on someone. Maybe you may have to actually mix it up between the two, because as you'll see as you go along, sometimes in certain fights the styles will change of the enemies. As you go through the city, early on the city will be sectioned off so you can just get the story segments done and over with, but it's not a huge map, but big enough to where it's like it feels fleshed out. Like there's no empty space in the map. Every place has its own, you know, function. So there's, you know, the story segment maps, which I will show you in a second. 1 second. So you could run around. Yeah, right now he's telling me to follow Shinji, but so you could run around. You could talk to people with the little speech bubbles. You could run into people and they make weird sounds. So you could have stuff in your inventory here, whether it's weapons or medicine or food. You could eat at food stores to replenish your health, which is the yellow bar right there. To the left here you'll see your style. Right now it's dragon. Top of that is your experience. To the right is your money, and then underneath the health is probably one of the more important things in the game, which is your heat gauge. So your heat gauge, once it's filled a certain amount, you can do like these crazy, you know, graphic attacks against people. So those are definitely important. You'll get, you know, different items in the game that allow you to increase, you know, your defense, or increase your attack, or increase the probability that people attack you, because remember, he is a wanted man, so people will attack you randomly on the street. You know, they'll just be passing Yakuza or loan sharks or just anyone that's just trying to get money for beating him up. You're always being hunted in this game. Speaking of hunted, there is a man that I dislike by the name of Majima that you'll come to find that he's very dangerous and hunts you the more you fight him. He is an old friend of Kiryu that wishes nothing more than to beat him in combat. So you'll see him, and it'll get to a point that you'll end up fighting like hordes of enemies, and you'll learn moves to deal with all the enemies at once. It'll be a little overwhelming at first, but you'll get the hang of it. You'll also get like text messages or phone calls from people for either sub stories or story segments, so make sure you always check those. There's also areas in the game to where you could actually talk to hostesses, to where you go there, you buy them drinks, you buy them food, you take them out on dates. It's a funny aspect of the game, and you know, they'll, you know, send you a text if they're like working and stuff like that. Then you have the completion list. Oh, hold on. Play log. Oh yeah, play log is just general information. We got the completion list here. So it's split up into adventure, battle, sub-stories, Majima Everywhere, and minigames. So adventure, it's just, you know, basic going around doing stuff. So talking to people, eating and consuming alcohol at, you know, all the restaurants. You'll get completion points, and these completion points can be used with this clown guy that's always on this main road that we're on, this main street, and you can exchange points with him for personal upgrades, so allowing you to dash faster, maybe get new equipment, you know, stuff like that. So it's highly encouraged you try to do as much as you can of these completion points, and they do open up. So you know, don't think just because like, oh, eat 5 food items, it stops there. Like, it'll open up a little more. Same thing for battles, you know, battle with the different styles, battle certain people, use certain gears and weapons, use heat actions a certain amount of times, complete sub-stories, fight, you know, different kinds of Majima, because Majima is weird like that. He fights in different styles, so, you know, there's Thug, Slugger, Breaker, Mad Dog, Zombie. There's a police officer. There's a bunch of different kinds of Majima. When he pops up and around, he has certain tendencies. He has certain tendencies to where you can kind of try to gauge if you're gonna fight the right Majima to meet it, but it is a little hard to tell which one he will be when he's roaming the streets, because you'll either see him roaming the streets or he'll be hiding. So when he's usually hiding, he'll hide in like a manhole, or he'll hide in a trash can, or he'll jump from a building. The dude's crazy. He's out of his mind. So then you have Pocket Circuit Fighter, which is like this kind of like Hot Wheels kind of mini game you get to play. It's a very fun. I recommend it. You have Mezu King, which is like this weird but fun card game you could play. You could play Mahjong, you play Blackjack, Baccarat. You could even sing karaoke. This game is very diverse, and you'll notice like that little mini map showed, usually when it's like a pink circle, that tells you where you need to be. So as far as main story, there really won't be many times to where you don't know where to go. It's pretty clear cut. And yeah, that's the overarching family. You're part of the Dojima family, but you're in this subset, which is Kazuma. So this is part of being a Yakuza, to where you gotta collect money from people. So, you know, sometimes Yakuza will also, you know, offer protection for maybe a club, and be like, hey, if you pay us this, we'll make sure no one fucks with you, basically. Excuse my language, but you make sure no one messes with you. So usually this is part of their job, getting collections on people, or, you know, yeah, just getting money, basically. It's highly advisable when you're first starting out to get money, get into as many fights as possible. And it's also encouraged to spend your points, spend your ability points that you get from fighting in the right things. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Right now I'm just going to show you some combos. Nothing crazy. We're going to dash forward here. This is usually how fights go. Then you can knock people down. Usually when you see that that red burst there that the guy showed, is because I broke his block. That's all. So then I could grab someone. Oh, well. I could grab someone and then I could punch him. Or I could grab an item, I could swing it at people. Hold on. See, that's another way to grab them. Another way to grab them. Hold on. This keeps making me pick up something. Is to just toss him like that. Like I just showed, you could pick up weapons. Hit them with it. Then now they're gonna talk about the health gauge. So then now they're gonna let me fight. So you'll usually see their health in the bottom right. When you fight harder enemies later on in the game, they'll have like maybe 4 or 5 health bars, which will be like different colors. And you usually, for the most part, you're gonna fight by yourself in these fights. So you're usually gonna be outnumbered. So get used to that. Also, weapons have durability issues as well, so they only have so many Yeah, just got a CP for defeating 5 enemies in Dragon Style. The weapons only have a certain amount of points before they break, but you could always get them fixed. So yeah, now we just got the money. You'll notice in Kiryu, as you go through the storyline, he's a very honorable Yakuza. He's like the greatest, one of the greater anti-heroes I've seen, to where he's not a part of a nice organization, but he has morals, he has standards. So he won't just go about killing or beating shit out of someone unless it is justified. So he's a very honorable person and someone that they considered heavily for taking on the next step in Yakuza before, you know, his master gets killed. So then they're going to talk about completion lists, exchange CP like I was talking about. So you'll see the little red stop signs there because we can't move there. Usually story stuff will be highlighted by the blue triangle. Then you'll have your saves everywhere. Saves, you could either save, you know, regular through the menu, or you can save at the phone booths. Phone booths also allow you to store items or supplies in case you run out of room. Unfortunately, there's nothing to upgrade your backpack or your equipment, I should say. So basically how your thing is set up is how it's set up. And then you also find, you know, shops here. Always have a shopping cart. Sometimes you have to find specific things for certain quests. You'll have food places which will be marked with the fork and knife. You don't see it right now, but you know, you'll have those places. Oops. And everything is voice act, by the way. So, oh yeah, let me describe to you for a second. So the abilities, like I was talking about, it's split into 4 things. If I remember correctly, I think it was Dragon, Soul. Man, I forgot what the 4 segments are called for abilities, but one of the main ones that you should really delve your points into early on is Body, because it has a lot of the HP upgrades and a lot of the attack upgrades. So now they're gonna teach me how to guard. Oh, also about the heat actions, when you upgrade one of the other areas of the heat action, one of the main areas of the heat action, then you'll be able to do heat actions while blocking, or while someone's blocking you, or do heat actions with items that you're holding. You know, you're able to do heat actions in a bunch of different situations as you upgrade stuff. So now they're saying the heat action's ready. So now I'm grabbing him. Now I can just beat the ever-living shit out of him. And it's different depending on, you know, what situation you're in. So you're near a wall, or you're out just in the main area here. It'll be a different case. So I just tossed him. And yeah, usually when fights end, it does that, you know, blue screen, and then it'll fade to black. I will say, oh shit, there's Majima, the guy I was telling you about that hunts you down everywhere. He has this like weird fascination with fighting Kiryu that I don't fully understand yet. And there's actually a prequel to this game called Yakuza 0 that apparently delves deeper into his relationship with Kiryu, that I'm definitely going to buy, and I'm actually going to do a playthrough of that. Only reason I didn't do a playthrough of this was just because I already played this from start to finish, so I didn't want you guys just to see, you know, me halfway through the game or at the end of the game. But I still wanted to talk about it and show it to you guys, so you guys get a feel for this game. So yeah, Majima just loves fighting you. He wants to smoke always. And sometimes you could skip some cutscenes if you wanted to. In this case, we'll skip it, just because I want to get to the point. You also notice other characters in the game that either are very helpful or are against you. You know, as time elapses, these characters are very important to the story. These characters really help drive the plot forward. Sometimes you'll meet quirky, weird people, you know, like I said, that just want to kill you, or sometimes you'll meet people that are helpful. There are a lot, and I mean a lot of twists in this game. Like, honestly, that's how I really judge how good a story is, by just the fact that it's able to just completely surprise me, and I can't even guess what the ending's gonna be like. Like, there was so many twists. Man, that's another thing too. They make whiskey look really good, even though it tastes terrible. So then, that's probably another reason to do the sub-stories, by the way, because some of the sub-stories are goofy and funny, and some of them are really serious. So, like, in some sub-stories, you know, you'll get mugged by, you know, maybe this girl that is trying to you know, insinuate that people are touching her or messing with her, so then she has this guy that beats them up and takes their money. Then you'll maybe come across situations to where maybe you have to help someone, you know, that is ill or in need, or, you know, it varies. The city is very, very interesting like that. You have people that, you know, are looking out for themselves, and there's his love interest, Yumi. You have people looking out for themselves, and then you also have people, you know, some people that want to help. So it's interesting. There's a lot of flashbacks in this game too. Well, I mean, I can't say a shit ton, but reasonable amount of flashbacks. The story is very, very coherent, and I have to say, you know, if you play from start to finish, you know, if you play from start to finish, you know, with sub-stories included, try to do as many as you can. Everything ties together nicely, you know, as a great present. Let me see. Like, and then you'll get a lot of cutscenes like this as well. There is in this game, in case you guys are wondering, his name is Amon. I'm just gonna tell you right now, don't bother fighting him unless you feel like you just love punishment, I guess, because I tried fighting him and it didn't work out the best. I got close a few times, I guess, but it was difficult for sure. Sorry, I'm just trying to skip this just so I can get to showing you some other things before I end the video here. Yeah, so now they're gonna send me to a store. You also have stuff in your notebook of stuff that's going on. At the bottom you'll see your CP number, your difficulty level, your play time, and what chapter you're on. What else could I mention to you guys? So yeah, all in all, really what this story is about is it's just about, you know, redemption. It's about family, it's about betrayal, it's about deceit, you know, it's about some, you know, heavy stuff. So it's a very fun game to play. Like I said, it is difficult. Here's a clown guy you could talk to for trading CP. He also allows you to store items with him as well. So here we got go fast, we got the locker key watcher, because there are locker keys you could use on these lockers, and they have prizes in them. Trouble finder, I highly recommend getting trouble finder. So when you see sub stories, when you look on the map, it'll have like a little exclamation mark. It's like gray and white. If you have trouble finder on as an accessory, it'll allow you to see them without having to search through the city for them. Just so you know, while there's not time-sensitive sub-stories. Sub-stories are at least sensitive to the fact that some don't open up till chapter 5, or some don't open up till chapter 9, some don't open up till the last chapter. So if you wanted, you could lead the sub-stories to the end, but I would recommend doing sub-stories, you know, after every story event. Try to do them as many as you can. There's also the battle ones here too, which allow you to get equipment. They allow you to get some weapons here. I would say, like, for me, when I was playing, I didn't really use equipment that often. I mostly just used my fists and my feet. But I'm sure it'll be different for everyone that plays. Some people may use equipment a lot more than I did, and equipment, you know, can be really useful used in the right. My dog was messing with me for some reason. She wanted something. But equipment used in the right scenario, the right time, can be really useful. So you always have a little waypoint there too. You see the little arrow on my mini map, that's showing me where I need to head to, where I need to go. There are certain, you know, restrictions to the city. It's not completely wide open. The city opens up, you know, the more you play, the more you do. Of course, in the beginning, like the first, I want to say 3 or 4 chapters, the city doesn't really open up yet. It's mostly closed off because it wants to keep you tuned in to what's going on. You could use taxis to get around later on, and after you get out of the introduction phase. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, I forgot. You could also play darts. Sometimes you'll get to like really ritzy places like this. The beginning is fun. It is a little a tad slow, but once it starts, you know, getting kicked off after the death of you know, one of the main members of the family, then that's when the story really kicks off. But yeah, for the most part in the beginning, it's like little fetch quests, and then everything completely opens, you know, for you. And the stars, if I remember correctly, the stars that appeared underneath the ring, I think those just signify how rare an item is. Let's see, what else? What else could I mention to you guys? Other than that, yeah, it's a hell of a ride. I don't know if I would recommend playing this game on hard or legend, but it is a great ride, and I can say for sure that after playing this game, it definitely made me wanted me to play more in the sense of not just not just what's, you know, going on, to see what's going on so much with this one, but yeah, sometimes things like this happen, but also in the way of, yeah, I had to get the ring back, but also in the way of, it makes you want to play the other storylines. It makes you want to see, well, what else happened. So it definitely made me want to play Zero. But yeah, for the most part, when it comes to sub stories, you should be able to just kind of run around and be able to find most of them. Most of them will be triggered by just entering certain areas or doing certain things. Kiryu's such a serious guy. Serious but compassionate. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. I'm not going to keep it too much longer. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of Yakuza. just so you guys get the gist. And yeah, thank you for watching the video on it, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace. Hold on, trying to exit. I always love the intro, by the way. The intro's like, it's amazing. It always gets me pumped to play. So it is the main menu. The music's awesome. Also love his tattoo, it's great. Oh yeah, but I forgot to mention, when you beat the game, you also have options like Premium Adventure. You explore the game world without following the main story. Climax battles, which are like specialized battles you can do. You could replay story events, and there's also settings. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.